everyone, welcome back to our lecture series. In our previous lecture, I have discussed about the spatial distribution of mineral resource and its significance on present day economy. Today, I am going to focus on very important mineral resource, that is iron ore. So before going to the slide, I will briefly explain why iron ore is considered as the foundation of modern industrial society. After that, I will go to the slide and I will explore briefly about some basic concepts of iron ore. Then I will discuss about the use and distribution of iron ore on both global as well as in Indian context. So, let's begin. Why iron ore is considered as the foundation of modern industrial society? Because every major industry depends on iron and steel. If we look around us, we will see that everything like in vehicles, machineries, heavy instruments, different infrastructures, different constructive materials, everything depends on iron and steel. And we get steel from iron ore. Iron ore is very strong, it is very heavy, durable and easy to shape. It also supports large scale infrastructure, constructions and transport materials. And without iron ore, no industry can grow faster, or we can say that without iron ore, no major industry can grow fastest. We also see that iron ore is also supporting various countries to expand its transportation, to develop buildings and also create employments. Also, the production of steel signifies the economic strength of that particular nations. Thus, iron ore is considered as the backbone of large-scale infrastructure, manufacturing and transportation. So that is why it is considered as the foundation of modern industrial society. Now let's focus on some basic concepts of iron ore. Here I have focused on some geological characteristics and the formation of iron ore. What is iron ore? Iron ore is a type of rock or mineral from which metallic iron can be extracted economically, and it is the basic raw material to make pig iron, which is one of the main components for making steel. Next, what are the main minerals of iron ore? So there has majorly two type of minerals. One is hematite and another is magnetite. And the color of hematite is reddish and magnetite is black and it is magnetic by nature. But apart from that, there has some other types of iron ore also. They are limonite and siderite. And if we talk about the iron content capacity, then we will see that the highest iron content is present in hematite and the lowest content iron is found in siderite. Now we will discuss how does it form. See, billion of years ago when the oceans were full of dissolved iron, then the first photosynthetic life forms and it reacted and releasing oxygen. This oxygen reacted with the dissolved iron and it forms iron oxide, which settle down layer by layer in the seafloor and it makes some hard rocks, and these rocks become banded iron formations. We know this type of rock is called as banded iron formations. Okay, so these distinct layer of banded iron formations alternating bands of iron rich layers and silica layers. And where is it formed? We can find it in the oldest and most stable crustal areas of our earth, which is known as cratons. Now let's discuss about some uses of iron ore. Iron ore is very important and essential minerals for our modern industry. It supports in the dominance of steel productions. Okay, so here we can see that the most significant fact is that almost 98% of all iron ore is dedicated to making steel. Steel is an alloy of iron and carbon and it is indispensable. In the construction and infrastructure sector, we see that from the tallest building to the largest or longest bridges to the foundation and materials of modern cities, steel provides the necessary strength and durability. It is also vital for large-scale infrastructure projects. Next is in transportation sector. In transportation sector, we see that the entire railway network relies on steel for railways and tracks. Furthermore, every modern vehicles from automobiles to giant ships and even aircraft parts, everything contains large amounts of steel for safety and structural integrity. Next is machinery, tools and transport. Moving beyond large structure, steel's utility extends to manufacturing and logistics. In machinery and tools, we see that industries use iron and steel to fabricate powerful machines, specialized tools, and complex pipelines and mechanical parts. Everything that moves or processes in a factory use steel. Next, in transport sector, we observe the iron ore mine today indirectly supports the entire transport sector, and these include not just the vehicles themselves but also it supports infrastructure like roadways and shipping containers. Next is in defense and energy sector. In this sector, these two are the highly strategic sectors that rely heavily on the strength of iron and steel. In engineering and defense sector, we see that steel is essential for national security and it forms the core material for defense equipments, tanks, naval ships and various weapon systems. In energy sector, we see even the push towards green energy relies on steel. Massive steel components are needed for structures like wind turbines, deep sea oil rigs and the infrastructure surrounding power plants. Next is household and daily life. So finally, we can say that we bring the usage of iron ore back home. Iron and steel are integrated into our daily lives. How? In household and daily life, we see that our refrigerator, our gates and rods, our furniture and the countless utensils, most of these durable goods depend on steel. And it truly is a material we cannot live without in this 21st century. So in summary, we can say that iron ore is not just a rock, it is the fundamental minerals that drives global industry, defense, energy and our everyday comfort. Now let's focus on global distribution of iron ore. This table shows major producing countries of iron ore and based on these productions different rank has been categorized here. And here we also see that in these production regions they include some mining regions also which is also signified here. So let's talk about them one by one. Number 1 position holds by Australia where we can see the mining regions includes Pilbara region in Western Australia. For example, Hamersley Range, Mount Tamprais, Newman, etc. In Brazil there has some mining regions which includes Minas Gerais, for example Itabira, Quadrilátero Ferrífero, and Brazil is a major exporter to Europe and Asia. Number 3 is China. In China, major mining deposits include Liaoning, Hebei, Shanxi. China is the largest consumer. Number 4 is India. In India, major mining deposits include Odisha Jharkhand belt, Durg Bastar Chandrapur belt, Bellary Chitradurga Chikmagalur belt, Maharashtra Goa belt, Tamil Nadu and so on. In Russia and Ukraine, we see major mining deposits includes Kursk magnetic anomaly in Russia, Krivoy Rog in Ukraine. South Africa includes some mining regions like Sishen Mines, Northern Cape. In Canada and USA, we observe Labrador Trough in Canada and Mesabi Range in USA are the important mining regions. So these are the major producing countries and they are included mining regions. Now let's describe about the major iron ore regions of the world. I am discussing it one by one. So at first we observe that in North America, specifically the important regions of iron ore sources includes the Great Lakes regions, Labrador in Canada, St. Lawrence, Minnesota, Michigan, Wyoming and some other Oregon in the United States. Okay. Now let's shift to the South America. In South America, we observe that Brazil is the dominant producer with the Minas Gerais regions, and there are some other deposited regions as well like Venezuela, Itabira, Serragers, etc. Okay. Now let's move forward to the Europe. In Europe, we see that major regions include the Lorraine Basin in France, the Ruhr region in Germany, South Wales in the UK, and the Kiruna and Dannemora mines in Sweden. Okay, now let's move towards some area in Russia and Kazakhstan. Here we can see that the important iron ore belt includes the Ural regions and the Magnitogorsk regions, both part of very old Precambrian formation. Next is China. In China, we observe there has several major iron ore belts such as Manchuria, Sichuan, Shandong, Anshan and Liaoning. In Australia, which is one of the world's largest exporters of iron ore, especially from the Pilbara regions, and deposits mainly included Hamersley Range, Mount Tom, Price and Kulianoving. And in India, we observe that the major iron ore regions include Odisha Jharkhand belt, Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Goa and parts of Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra. Okay, so we have discussed about some major iron ore regions of the world continent wise. Now let's focus globally with specific regions. Let's say talk about Australia. So here we can see that there has various regions demarcated in each continents for showing each deposits regions. Okay, so in case of Australia, we can see that in the northwestern portions there has Pilbara region. In Australia, we know that it is the major iron ore producing regions and it is located in these positions. Now, except this Pilbara region, there has some other regions also where we can see that iron ore depositions has also been seen here, and they includes Kulianoving in Australia, also in the southern part of Iron Knob, Iron Duke, Iron Baron, Iron Price and Iron Prince and Iron Queen in Australia. Okay, move into some other part also. Let's talk about the iron ore regions in South America. So in South America, we see the most important, or we can say the largest iron ore mine in the world is Serragers mines in Brazil. We see that the location is exactly here. And other than that, there has some other deposited of iron ore also. Like for example, in Brazil, we see that there has Itabira, Minas Gerais. Also here we can observe that Algarrobo, Domingal, Lasso, Tofo in Chile. There has Marsona in Pampa de Pongo in Peru as well. Okay, now let's shift to the iron ore regions in Asia. Here in Asia, we observe that this part is the Ural regions in Russia where iron ore reserves are located. Now here we can see these parts includes Magnitogorsk, which is situated in the Russia and northern Kazakhstan. This area is also important iron ore reserves. Next in China, there has Xinjiang, there has Anshan, Shandong, Xinjiang, which is the most important iron ore reserves in China. Now let's shift to the India. In India, we can see that in this eastern part where Chotanagpur Plateau regions is situated, here over Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand and Odisha, major iron ore deposits can be seen. And in the southern part, here Kudremukh in Karnataka is also an important iron ore reserves in our India. Now let's discuss about some other continent as well. Say for example, in Europe, we observe that, see here in the northern part, which includes Kiruna mine in Sweden, is an important iron ore reserves. Next is in Dannemora mine or Kalak mine in Sweden. we observe here. Next, in Austria, here Lorraine regions in France, Esberg mine in Austria, Poltava Oblast in Ukraine, Okulovsky mine in Belarus. Here in Germany there has Ruhr region, and also here South Wales in UK can be observed here. Also, if we talk about the iron ore regions in North America, we will see that Great Lakes are presented here. Also Quebec, Canada, they also have some specific iron ore belt here. Oregon in USA, Nevada in USA, and also the Sloss mines, Pine mine, they are also presented here with high amount of iron ore reserves. Now let's talk about Africa. There has very few concentration can be seen here. In the northwestern part of Africa, we observe Gara Jebiliet mine in Algeria, Bong mine and Putu mine in Liberia, and also Transvaal in South Africa can be seen here. So we have observed the distributional pattern of iron ore resources globally. So we have observed various type of iron ore reserves globally, and we have seen that the distributional pattern of iron ore regions is very much concentrated in some specific regions, say for example in Australia, in Canada, in China, North America, but whereas some in other parts we see the concentration is very much lower, like for example in Africa, in Austria. So we can say that the distribution pattern of iron ore resources is not even everywhere, it is uneven by nature, and this unevenness nature actually impacts on the global economy as well. Now let's shift our focus from global distribution to the Indian distributions. Here we can see that there has 5 major belts of iron ore resources, and these belts include Odisha Jharkhand belt, which includes the regions Mayurbhanj in Keonjhar, Sundargarh, Barbil, Joda region, Badam Pahar, Guru Mahishani, Singhbhum in Jharkhand. See in this map, this part is denoted as the Odisha Jharkhand belt. Here we can see that number A is signified as Jharkhand and Odisha sector, which is denoted as the Odisha Jharkhand belt. It is the most important iron ore belt in our India. Next is Durg Bastar Chandrapur belt, which is situated in Chhattisgarh MP region, and it includes Bailadila range, Dantewara. Here we can see that high quality of iron ore reserves present here, and also Dalli Rajhara Raugat. See in this map, these portions is actually denoted the second iron ore belt in our India, which is Durg Bastar Chandrapur belt, which is denoted in Chhattisgarh and Maharashtra sector. Number 3 is Bellary Chitradurga Chikmagalur belt, which is situated in Karnataka. Okay, if we observe our map, then we will see that these portions include Karnataka Bellary Hospet sector, and this signifies as Kudremukh sector. So here the major locations include Bellary Hospet region, Kudremukh mines, and Sandur belt. So we have observed them in this part. So we can say that this portion is the third iron ore belt, which is signified in this table. Then number 4 is Maharashtra Goa belt. See, Maharashtra Goa belt include the parts of Ratnagiri in Maharashtra, North Goa and South Goa. So Maharashtra Goa belt is situated in this part of our India, which is signified as number D, Goa and Reddy, Maharashtra sector. And apart from these 4 regions, there has some other small deposits also, which can be seen in Tamil Nadu state in these positions, whereas specifically Salem district, Tiruvannamalai regions are some small deposits of iron ore. So if we consider this Indian subcontinent map, we will also say that the distributional pattern of iron ore is not equal, it is uneven everywhere. So these type pattern or these type of spatial distributions make impact on this Indian economy as well. Now let's discuss about some industrial linkages. See, here primary raw materials for steel industry is shown here. So the most direct linkage is its role as the primary raw material for the steel industry. Without iron ore, there is no pig iron and thus no steel. Basis of construction and infrastructure sector. Steel is the basis for the construction and infrastructure sectors. Every major project from dams and bridges to factories and residential buildings is linked back to iron ore production. Then supports machinery and engineering industries. Here we observe the quality and availability of iron ore directly supports the machinery and engineering industries by supplying them with the necessary structural materials. Number 4, essential for transport manufacturing. It is absolutely essential for transport manufacturing. This includes the chassis of cars, the bodies of trucks and the rails for trains. Next is input for shipbuilding and defense. Steel derived from iron ore provides crucial inputs for the shipbuildings and defense sectors which require materials that possess superior strength and resilience. Indirect link with energy and power sector. Finally, there is an indirect link with the energy and power sector as well. All major power generation facilities including wind turbines and thermal power plants are built using massive amounts of steel components. Let's talk about some export, import and economic role of iron ore. See, globally, the global market is basically dominated by few key players, which includes major exporters like Australia, Brazil, South Africa and India. And in contrary, there has some major importers also who occurs massive industry but very few domestic reserves, primarily China and Japan and South Korea. And in Indian context, India exports their materials or resources mainly to China, and it also ships low grade ore. Interestingly, it also imports low grade ore due to price advantage and also domestic blending requirements. Iron ore industry generates lots of revenue and it creates employment opportunities, and it directly supports steel production, manufacturing and trade networks. Thus, we can say that iron ore industry is the backbone of industrial growth and it also has significant contributions to the GDP of nations. We should critically address the environmental concerns of iron ore mining as well. Because while it is essential for economy, mining activities pose serious environmental threats. That is why to reduce the environmental damage, sustainable practice should be done. Number 1 is deforestation and loss of biodiversity. Here we can observe that open cast mining requires clearing large tracts of land, leading to significant deforestation and loss of biodiversity as forest ecosystems are destroyed. Soil erosion and land degradation. The removal of vegetation and topsoil makes the exposed land highly vulnerable to soil erosion and land degradation. This permanently damages agricultural potential in the surrounding areas. Next is water pollution from mine waste. Mining generates vast quantities of waste material called tailings, which contain heavy metals and harmful chemicals. Runoff from these wastes lead to water pollution in nearby rivers and groundwater sources. Air pollution, dust, particulate matter. The drilling, blasting and transport of ore cause significant air pollution in the form of fine dust and particulate matter as well. These poses serious respiratory health risk to local communities. Noise and vibration from heavy machinery. The continuous operation of heavy machinery and explosive use creates chronic noise and vibration, disturbing wildlife and affecting the quality of life for residents near the mines. Mine abandonment and landscape scars. When a mine is exhausted and abandoned, it often leaves behind large unfilled pits and massive waste dumps, resulting in permanent landscape scars. Need for sustainable mining practices. To mitigate these impacts, there is an urgent need for sustainable mining practices. These include strict environmental regulations, land reclamations, and the adoption of modern, cleaner technology. So let's summarize the key takeaway of the discussions. So here we have observed at first I have explained why iron ore is considered as the foundation of modern industrial society. Then I have discussed about some geological characteristics and formation process of iron ore. Next, we have already discussed about some uses, its distributions on global scale as well as in Indian context. Then we have discussed about some industrial linkages and export, import and economic development of our India. In case of iron ore mining. Then I have discussed about the environmental concerns of iron ore mining as well. So in conclusion, it must be said that iron ore resource is not just a geological matter. It forms the basic foundation of global industrial system, and its distributional pattern shapes the economic development, the industrial development and national economic progress as well. We can also say that the geography of iron ore is directly linked to the economy and development of both producing and consuming nations. So I hope this session has provided you a comprehensive understanding, and you have already shown that there has various type of maps I have used here to understand every patterns clearly. So thank you very much for attending this session.